Private equity. It sounds like something reserved for the ultra-wealthy, doesn't it? Big companies, million-dollar deals, and wealthy investors. But what if I told you that private equity could have a surprisingly significant impact on the middle class? In today's video, we'll explore how private equity plays a role in shaping the middle class and how, for better or for worse, it's transforming our economy. Stick around to learn more about this complex and often misunderstood sector. Let's start by understanding what private equity is. At its core, private equity is an investment strategy where firms buy, restructure, and manage companies with the goal of increasing their value before selling them. These investors don't typically work with publicly traded companies. Instead, they focus on private companies, which can sometimes mean smaller, more localized businesses. Section 1. The role of private equity in economic growth. Now, private equity firms invest in a wide range of companies, from tech startups to manufacturing plants, and even restaurants or healthcare providers. Their goal is to turn a struggling business into a profitable one, through strategic changes like cutting costs, streamlining operations, or making key leadership changes. When private equity firms succeed, they create jobs and drive economic growth. But how does this benefit the middle class? Well, increased profits at companies can lead to more hiring, better wages, and even lower prices for consumers. But it's a double-edged sword, because not all of this growth is shared equally across the board. Section 2. Job creation versus job cuts. One of the most important ways private equity firms impact the middle class is through job creation. When a private equity firm buys a company, they usually want to turn it around quickly, which often means investing in areas that can increase efficiency and productivity. That could involve bringing in new technology, upgrading facilities, or expanding the product line. While this can create new jobs, especially in industries like tech and healthcare, the flip side is that private equity can also result in job cuts. Sometimes, companies are restructured in ways that lead to layoffs or downsizing. Efficiency measures can lead to a reduction in the workforce, especially in sectors like manufacturing, where automation and consolidation are common. Section 3. Impact on wages. Another area where private equity affects the middle class is in wage growth. On the one hand, a successful company turnaround can lead to higher wages. As companies become more profitable, they can afford to pay their employees more. Think of it like this. When a company does well, it often shares its success with its workers through higher wages, bonuses, or better benefits. But here's where it gets tricky. Private equity firms are known for prioritizing short-term gains, and that means wages can sometimes be squeezed. For instance, in some cases, private equity owners may cut costs by reducing employee benefits or freezing wages for a period of time to boost profits. This can result in a wage stagnation effect for workers, especially in industries where labor costs are high. Section 4. The rise of corporate consolidation and middle-class shrinking. Another surprising way private equity affects the middle class is through corporate consolidation. As private equity firms buy and merge companies, the number of independent businesses in certain sectors decreases. This leads to a concentration of power in the hands of a few large firms, which can create a situation where smaller businesses and local entrepreneurs find it harder to compete. As a result, the middle class might face fewer opportunities to start their own businesses, as competition from these giant corporations makes it harder to thrive. It's also possible that consumers will see a decrease in variety and innovation, as larger companies have the advantage of scale, often pushing out smaller competitors. Section 5. The real impact on middle-class communities. So, what does all of this mean for middle-class communities? The impact of private equity is a mixed bag. In some cases, when private equity firms succeed, they create jobs, offer better wages, and revitalize entire industries. In other cases, they may bring about layoffs, wage stagnation, and corporate consolidation that limits the opportunities available to local workers and small business owners. At the end of the day, it's not just about the financial returns that private equity firms bring in. It's about how those returns ripple out into the community. When private equity firms invest thoughtfully and responsibly, they can play a pivotal role in supporting the middle class. But when profit-maximizing measures prioritize short-term gains over long-term sustainability, it can harm the very workers and communities they aim to uplift. Private equity isn't inherently good or bad for the middle class. It's a powerful tool that can shape industries, create jobs, and fuel economic growth. But it also comes with its share of risks. The next time you hear about private equity, remember that its impact on the middle class depends on how it's used and whether the right balance between profits and people is struck. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to hit the like button, subscribe for more content, and leave a comment down below about your thoughts on private equity's role in our economy. Until next time, thanks for watching.